We continue to follow the latest on Hurricane Milton. We're taking a live look at Tampa, courtesy of EarthCam. The storm could be one of the most destructive to ever hit the Tampa area. Forecasters with the Hurricane Center say Milton could be catastrophic for parts of Florida as wind speeds up to 129 miles per hour are expected. This comes after some communities are still littered with debris from Hurricane Helene. Mass evacuations across the state are winding down, and as many leave or shelter in place, others are ready to step in and help those in need. Joining me now live from Jacksonville, Florida, is Tighe, the CEO of Direct Relief, a humanitarian aid nonprofit helping victims of natural disasters. Thank you so much for taking some time. I'm sure it's going to be a very, very busy few days for you. Tell me about your organization and how it's preparing to help Floridians ahead of Milton making landfall.
Well, thank you, Mary. Yeah, I think Direct Relief works extensively on an ongoing basis in all 50 states, trying to focus on providing access to needed medications and essential things for people who can't afford them but need them. So Florida and the Carolinas and Texas happen to be the largest states where we provide support on an ongoing basis. So we're concerned, just given that we know tens of thousands of people in the affected areas rely on charitable insulin and inhalers and things like that to treat their chronic conditions and manage them. When they have to evacuate and they're dislodged from their home, that in and of itself can cause its own set of health risks, just in a mass evacuation. So we've brought in a lot of the essential medications before the storm. We have some emergency supplies here on site. We've been visiting some of the shelters and emergency operations center to make sure that we're plugged in if necessary. But as you just said, I think there are millions of people probably on the road. The storm is shifting, and so people are trying to find their way to safety. It's really the least fortunate people who sadly had it tough the day before and have the hardest time dealing with these events because they don't have the money to evacuate often. So that's really our focus on the most. Everyone's vulnerable, but some much more so than others in situations like this. So that's really what we're trying to focus on, that the medical essentials, the materials are there for people we know rely on them on a charitable basis.
And do you have concerns about your own safety and the safety of your volunteers?
Well, we're in Jacksonville right now. We have a small office. One of our team members lives and works out of here. So we believe it's safe. I think the storm has shifted south. I think a lot of people, you can probably see on the bridge behind me, that's I-95. Most of the traffic is going north as people are leaving Tampa through Orlando, and they just come up I-95, which goes all the way from Miami to New York City. So I think people are leaving and getting out of harm's way. But so far, I think Jacksonville is a little out of the cone of major effects. So we feel safe here. I'm a little bit of high ground, but the topography determines the flood plains. Just the height of a few feet can make a huge difference on whether someone is at risk or not. So we're on high ground and are fine for now, but a lot of people are not. And again, just yesterday down in Volusia County, there are people who are in the evacuation zone, and they just said they're going to have a hard time leaving. They don't have a car. And we were at one of the free clinics that we support on an ongoing basis. So there's a lot of concern about people who are inherently in tough circumstances. And these storms, everything that was bad before the hurricane remains bad. And on top of that is a whole bunch of new bad that comes from just the disruption, the economic losses, and obviously just loss of work and the threats from the storm itself.
So for those who live outside of Florida, what are ways that they can help those who are impacted?
Well, I think, we have a narrow focus. There's a lot of great nonprofit organizations that are activated. I think the Red Cross typically does the food and the shelter. There are other groups who focus on pet safety. A lot of people won't even pay pets. Excuse me, we get a little wind. And Direct Relief is focused on the medical essentials. And so, I think look at the major sites. I think the state of Florida is doing a good job. They're deeply experienced, but I think just if you're in a position to help, do what you can and do what speaks to your heart, as always.
Well, Tighe, we really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, CEO of Direct Relief, doing so much there in Florida, especially ahead of Milton. We appreciate your time.